he had a problem playing at Palm Beach. He wouldn't bring a ball up, he wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, I dumped it and it stopped.
I don't know where they're at.
So, I mean, that's a miracle when stuff like that happens. Now, you realize if we didn't have one master key?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Forgot about that one.
What is it, cross switch trouble?
The ball stuck.
Oh. Well, if I'd done that, I'd just shaking the heck out of it. I had a ball get stuck in my game and then I lifted playfield up. Oh yeah, I dropped that rubber ring down in there.
No. Well, you got switches on the ball if the motor ain't working. No. It's not
No.
resetting.
No, it's not resetting.
Probably
No.
got 50
Just turn
probably
it
got
off.
50 volt fuses blown
I didn't
out.
know how to turn
Oh
it
no,
off. I
it
didn't know
can't
how
be
to
if
turn
your
it
shutter
off.
closed.
Right.
Just turn it off.
It's from not being played. You have to. I'm actually surprised. Oh, this.
Oh, I couldn't find the switch.
Yeah. Well, you know how the clutches get.
I sure do.
So, that's where I was. But now, since we left, all I'm thinking about is this Safari now.
I had a gay time, made a deal with Robert Madel. You remember.
Yeah, sure, I remember.
So Robert bought a gay time. The time when you all came down to Cincinnati, brought a gay time down.
Yep.
And it didn't work right. I don't know if Robert ever told you or not, but it probably didn't.
No.
So I worked on it for a couple of times, and there was different issues with it. So I had one of my customers give me a gay time that was perfect. So Robert says to me, I want to increase my collection when I'm up here in New Jersey. At that time he had a Circus Queen and a Golden Gate that he had left from when he bought the games from Dennis Dodell in St. Louis. He calls me and says, I want to buy the Sun Valley that I bought from Steve Roth, that I sold to you. I want to buy that back. I said, how much did I give you for it? You gave me this much. You gave me this much. Okay, that's what I want back for it. I don't want to make any money on it. But I said, I got a better deal. I said, I've got this perfect gay time sitting here. I want the same money for this perfect gay time that you're giving me for the Sun Valley. And we'll get them both. And then I'm going to take your gay time, I will fix it at my expense. And then we'll sell it. So it turned out I had to reclutch it. Well, it wasn't too bad. I only had to reclutch it through from the spotting disc back through the extra odds.
Okay.
I didn't have to pull all the mixers. But if you remember on gay time, you got to be real careful. You got to hold a magnetic cup underneath because they got that little 5-bearing washer in there.
Yes.
And if you drop those bearings, they're like,
you're done.
You're done.
Yeah, you ain't never gonna find that out.
You're never going to find them. You're not going to find them on a concrete floor. You're not going to find them on a carpet floor. So I'm holding my magnetic cup and very carefully taking it off. And there's the thing. And I slide it off. Luckily, the washer hadn't worn out. It was still holding the bearings,
Wow.
which is unheard of. Now I have one more left with bearings in it. One.
Wow.
Are these obtainable anywhere?
No.
I didn't think they were. I was just making
No,
sure.
I mean, the only way to get them is to ruin another game.
Yeah. So I reclutched it, and believe it or not, that fixed 70% of the problems. But the other problem it has, the odds would never go beyond 12. And looking at the schematic shows the odds go through a wire. I'm going to say it's 65 days through. I don't know the number.
Right.
And it goes from normally a single pole double throw switch
Okay.
off of extra ball number 2 that's on the closed side, and it goes down to the points on the spotting disc, and there's 2 of them, and that where they stop, it either brings up 6 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 18, 18 down the line.
Right.
So it was working fine all the way up to 12. That was it. But I was watching it I have a relay sitting on wire 65-3. And when I get past 12 odds, the test relay falls down, which means the wire 65-3 is going open.
Right.
But it's supposed to be coming from the extra ball.
Yeah, right.
But you can't go open. So I start fooling around with mixer number 2. And all of a sudden, it comes on again with mixer number 2. Now, the schematic shows mixer number 2 on the wrong side of switch 7B, which is the one that steps the odds.
Exactly.
Exactly. This machine is not wired like that. For some reason, it's wired different.
You know why?
I don't know why.
Well, here, you know what? Because
And it's stock. It's not jury rigged. It's stock.
okay, that may be the problem with Surf Club.
But what I did is
Surf Club would be right behind. No, it'd go
It's
Surf
really-
Club, gate time.
Yeah, but what I did is I took the time to identify, first of all, to make sure that mixer number 3, which was also in the picture,
Okay.
was always on. Now, mixer number 3 will shut off features if red 3 scores 4 or yellow 3 scores 4 is tripped, or if corners is tripped, or if magic lines are lit.
Right.
Mixer number 2 has nothing to do with that. So I made sure mixer number 3 was always on no matter what feature was lit. In other words, I had all the features lit, and I
Okay.
still had power from going through mixer number 3, okay, which is what actually fed the voltage to extra ball switch, single pole double throw switch.
Right.
And then I tested mixer number 2 positions, and I actually built a push button where I could go into 7B, one quarter, clip cord, and a thumb, and I could push it, and that operated 7B with the button.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have it on 8 odds, bump, 12 odds, bump, nothing. Move mixer number 2. Okay, every time it went from 12 to 18, I marked it down. Didn't care what else, and I move around for all 24 steps of mixer 2. Then I'd go from 18 to 24, 24 to 36, 36 to 48.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Line. And of course, I got descending numbers on mixer number 2. So it's stock.
Right.
But
Okay.
that's a standard. You get 7, 4, 2,
Right.
7, 5, 3, 2, down here,
Right.
down the line, and then 48 to 64 and 64 to 80. That's the same. That's the same jump.
Okay. So, where was it?
There's nothing wrong with it. There was nothing wrong with it.
You're kidding? That's right. You just said it was.
It was
was
working.
stock.
But because there is something wrong with it, they got the timing cams.
Okay.
Okay, the timing cams, I don't think they're working in this game. I don't think they're really stopping the timer cams like they're supposed to. Other problem I have, which drives me nuts, because I fixed the extra odd circuit. But every time the extra odd circuit is hit, it'll go so far, but it never hits one of the buttons to move it. Now, if I trip it and go through, and it does close it, the extra odds go. But it never stops right. That tells me it's a timing problem.
I got a question. Both of them. This Lido I got in the car from John Robinette yesterday, day before yesterday. The score extra step.
Yeah, we got plenty.
Okay. He dumps it, starts a new game. Okay, it's the blue button. You get one jump. It's the blue button again. Then you get the double jump. And he couldn't get it sorted.
In other words, from 4 to 8, you're not getting the double jump. you're getting a double jump.
You got it
Six.
from 6 up.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like something's rivet behind somewhere.
They-
You got an open on your score. You got an open on your score.
I don't have anything, man. I just got it in a car. I haven't even opened it up. I looked at
The
it.
game hasn't opened either in mixer number 2 relay or on the score or the wire that's feeding the score disc, because that's a common feed that goes to all
Yeah, but I
three
seen the
colors.
picture you sent me. That was hacked up pretty good.
He's got 4 wires
Yeah,
sticking
yeah.
out.
John, I mean, you sent me the picture.
Yeah.
It's all hacked up. I'm just gonna give you the whole unit, you know, with the arm, all of that.
Mhm.
But
The
that
only
has
game-
nothing to do
well,
with your score. That
that's-
has nothing to do with your score.
That's what I
exit.
mean. Yeah, that's a separate thing.
Totally separate.
And so he had trouble with the mixers. So it sounds like, and he got it back together. He had to replace the mixer motor too. So I'm thinking it might be in mixer 2, like you.
Okay, but remember what I told you about mixer number 2. Mixer number 2 only controls the operation of the mixer number 2 relay. That's all it does.
No.
And mixer number 3, its position controls which color is going to step. But when you're going from when you're going from 0, 4, 6, and 8, there is nothing to do with mixer number 3 because it's a totally different circuit.
Right.
And it's a totally different switch on cam 7. It's cam 7A. Whereas the
Did you
one
say
that,
so, boss?
whereas the one that controls
That's the doctor.
after 8 odds is 7B.
See, now, that was a good question because I'm sitting here thinking, but I don't play them like you guys. I just fix the problem and move on. The only game I can remember out of the gate, so let's say that you're starting a new game, the only one that I can remember offhand that continually gives you a double jump on the first one. So you, let's say you're
It
starting
always
out,
goes to 4. It never goes to double jump unless it's the extra odds.
only one game I remember does it. Bonanza. With the double triumph. So let's say that you're starting a new game. You come in, you put a quarter in, boom. One of the colors
We always go double.
will always go double.
But that's because Bonanza's a 40 coin machine.
Right.
It
You know
uses
what?
that-
I
it
forgot
uses
about that.
motor number and that
40 coin limit.
and that controls all that. That controls all that. Totally different circuit.
Yeah, because I'm just sitting here thinking,
Yeah, totally
I forgot
different.
about the 40 coin limit.
Now, on your mixer number 2 relay, we talked about this last night. 4 switches on mixer number 2 relay. One of them controls 2 in the blue.
Yeah, you said that earlier.
Yeah.
One of them controls extra balls.
Just balls.
One of them controls odd steps from 8 on. One of them controls odd steps from 0 to 8. That switch from 0 to 8 is probably weak or arcing. And that's where I would go first.
Mixer number 2 relay. Okay.
But you got to make sure you're on. And if you look in your manual, read the switches, you'll read exactly what I just told you. You'll see it.
You got it right there in the car, but we're not doing that now.
Any machine after county fair will have exactly the same circuit.
Okay.
You know how many times maybe...
No,
Okay.
excuse me. Any machine after Circus Queen. My bad.
Maybe, I'd say a dozen times, I had to change your mixer latches. Because, because they ride on, it's steel is steel.
Now I never thought of that, but that's a good possibility where mixer number 2 is not allowing the mixer number 2 relay to operate cleanly.
Exactly.
You're making a good point.
So it's a mechanical issue.
It could be, because after over time, depending on the game, like Miss America would do that. That's why they made so many Miss Americas. Popular game. It'd whip when the steel cam goes around. Too much pressure on it when people put too much tension on the spring. Instead of just floating to throw the mixer in,
Yes, right.
it'll start wearing, and then eventually it's not going to throw anything, and it's not going to work cleanly.
Did you ever see a machine where the leather clutches actually wore through
The phenolic disc.
the phenolic rotating disc. You ever see that?
No,
You showed it to us.
I
on
saw
our
it
first
once.
Video.
no.
I saw it once, but Hugh Cohn explained to me why that happened. And he said some operators put the leather on backwards.
Okay.
It's in this video.
And he said
I'm
Do
gonna
you
watch
want
that.
this?
clean,
Yes.
he said the clean
4 hours.
side,
Don't matter.
he said the clean side of the leather disc
Thank you.
has to go towards the rotating wheel, not the abrasive side. The abrasive side goes towards the fixed metal.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
I never thought of it either.
Well, yeah.
And you know how many
I
clutches?
always thought just the opposite.
The suede is going to pick up dirt. The suede side.
It's not, but
It's thermal
it also acts like sandpaper.
That's what I mean. Well, if
Yeah.
it's not going to be sandpaper until it picks up sand or dirt or carbon or something that's going to wear through the phenolic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? There is. I'm sitting here thinking, because I always wondered, and this is the truth. I always wondered, is it just because it was the leather that we had used? Because I had all the clutches made up of Kerwins, so I took him one up, and then he made his own punches and everything else. And if you're right, always one side's clean, the opposite's rough. Yeah, and I'm thinking, okay, it was just the clutches that we had made up, and I'm thinking, okay, and I really didn't think it would matter. But now that when you explain it, it makes sense.
It would matter if you happen to have clutches that had two rough sides.
Right.
I don't think you're going to find that.
No. Now, here's another problem that I thought Valley really screwed up. The game's in here, like you have. When, I don't even know what it's called, Jeff, but I can point it out. So, let's say your it's a search disc on a Dixieland, whether it's 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. The plastic that goes through the disc itself and then goes through the metal, you know what I mean? You have to have it this way. It's just not like these games. On a Dixieland,
Oh.
you can be out 180 degrees and the game ain't gonna work. And you'll be thinking, listen, I just replaced this. No, because there's a pin that rotates 1 and 2 that throws 3 and 4 to go. And if you have it on backwards, it's not gonna work.
That's right.
But how many times did you ever see the plastic part that comes off your wipers, then goes through your disc into
Shift.
the shaft, right?
Worn.
How many times did you ever see them break on a
non-Dixieland.
non-Dixieland?
Never.
Listen,
Never.
I don't care how dry the clutches are, I have never seen it.
That's right.
On a Dixieland, they're that brittle, and don't forget, you're not buying these parts. The only way to get that up and running is to have another Dixieland that you can steal. But that's the biggest problem with the Dixielands. And honest, if they're out a 16th,
That's it.
you're done, because it's not going to either throw 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. And if you're out, listen, I watch guys seriously that are in the vending machine business be like, Mike, what did I do? And I said, listen. He said, it's not throwing 3 and 4. I said, you have it on backwards. See, then if they have it on backwards, you can tell you have it on backwards after you mess up like I did, and that's the way I figured it out, is because we call it Christmas tree. 1 and 2 will go, but it's telling it to go too soon, and now the search just 3 and 4 is going, and all it does is throw numbers up.
Numbers. Yep.
It just throws it up. It's the worst design that I think they ever come up with.
Well, the other problem they make.
That's what we call Christmas tree.
That's
Right.
right. Christmas tree. Seen it many times.
Right.
The other problem with Dixielands and Nashvilles, because they have so many lines that pay, even with 3 separate search discs, they have to use all 50 rows as a payout line. And no other machines do that. Not even the other 6. There's always some gap between the cards, like the lines that pay, there's always some gap, 1 or 2 lines, to give the machine a rest, if you will.
Right.
Before it has to start
Yeah,
searching
time to
again.
think. Yeah.
And Dixieland and Nashville are the only 2 that use all 50 lines.
I don't know why those games must pay out a little often, and that's why.
I don't know
that's
why,
my bride getting
but
through.
honestly, how in the 80s and 90s, early 2000s, that's all anybody wanted was a Dixieland, and the account wanted them. I didn't want to see another one back then,
Right.
but that's all they wanted.
Well, then it must have player appeal and therefore bring in bucks, but it sounds.
Well, they did. I
the-
mean,
the amount of attention you've got gonna give it is taken away from those bucks.
Dad, you remember the other operator? We're arguing over a great account. A great account. So, they didn't want to irritate either one of us, so they had your machines in, and so they split the account instead of one operator to keep us all happy. He turned around, was Ralph. Ralph, Alessi, God bless him.
Yeah.
So he makes, oh, Jeff, he makes a Dixieland, instead of 11 coins, he makes it 13. Now, his Dixieland's the size of ours. Everybody starts playing him. So the 12th coin would light the corners. The 13th coin would throw the super line. So I'm thinking, now how can we, because our play went down considerably.
Yeah.
Well, of course, I mean, it gave them way more better odds. So I'm thinking, okay, now we're at the point where I don't care if we make money. So what do? I make ours 14 coins. Swear to you. And we still have it. It's buried. Right? You can never put it out in the street, you'd get killed.
Yeah.
So what I would do is 12th coin corners, 13th coin super lines. I got 12, 13, 14 Bally Hall. I had to change underneath the play field, right? So when you got the 16, it'd throw the extra ball. So then you had to change inside the trough.
You gotta add a switch.
Add a switch.
And add a ball.
Right, but you needed a step up, of course, to run the 12th, 13th, and 14th. We never made no money. So Ralph was like, we just happened to be down emptying the account at the exact same time, which rarely ever happens. And he said, oh, that's a good one. How'd you do it? Right? Now, Ralph probably grew, well, his father had to Ralph. So Ralph had to grow up with all from the 50s.
Yeah, he grew up with them.
But he was so into the Dixielands and the Nashvilles. Like, it started probably with High Flyer and Wall Street, because they were 8 coins. Then Nashville was 10 coins. Then Dixieland come out with 11. But, honest, I kid you not, he's there. Mike, what all do you have to change? So, at that point, we're done arguing with each other. And he's here, you know, we're both getting killed here. I said, yeah, but you started it. I said, we're 12 and 13. Right? And he's here, I never thought of the Bowie Hole. But, and then, the Dixieland isn't a wooden play field.
I didn't know that.
It's not. It's hard plastic.
Okay. Isn't the same thing true of silver sails? Or no?
Malibu Beach.
Malibu Beach probably is.
Yeah. But it's
No.
made of a plastic composite.
Right.
Yeah, some kind of.
So instead of using like a wood chisel to add the extra switch, you know what I mean, for the Bally Hall, because you still had to have your light for 16.
Right, I put it across
Okay.
the short, and the thing smoked in my thing. I was like, son of a bitch.
And you're talking about hacks and modifications to get people to play.
No, I'm talking about how to troubleshoot.
No, I'm following up on this.
Oh, you're back to the other story.
The gate I played, some friends of mine tried to dig a hole in the back in the play field glass to stick a wire through. You know what that ended up doing? making a bunch of glass in the playfield. I swiped the ball from it, still have it. Anyway, that said, after it came back from repair shop, the operator had put in a special wire somehow, somewhere, where if you played the green button, just the green button, for features, it would give you a red letter game.
We'll give you what?
A red letter game, an okay game.
Right, an okay game.
And so wherever your green odds happen to be, if you switched over to just playing for features, and I had old guys waiting their turn to play, I said, why aren't you going for odds? I said, because I'm trying to get all this stuff lit up. That's not going to happen. And then I'd go 3 or 4 more presses, ding, 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 you know how they do.
Sure.
And that game made all kinds of money. He said that he'd never made so much money off the game. Hadn't that one thing to it. But if you didn't know it did it, you know, it was pretty interesting. Very interesting. I did it more than once. And when Earl was the guy that owned the diner, when he came back, oh, it was a great day because I missed playing. And he told us that. I was like, really? And I forgot it. And then all of a sudden I'm playing a green button and there it goes. Oh yeah, Earl said it would do this. And I started going after it all the time.
That was a nice feature that the Bounty had. The Bounty had that feature if you had, you had the okay,
It's got a triple okay.
the second
Right.
okay gives you another line. The third okay is if you hit the okay, the green odds go to 64 before it pulses the red. That's a nice feature.
Oh, it does it automatically. How about that?
Does it,
I
yeah,
think I do that.
Bounty does it automatically.
Because I don't play.
That's the only game I ever saw that had that. That was a nice feature.
But he wired it. However, it must have been.
I don't know a single operator except me or Ralph that ever gave more odds out than we should.
Well,
But that
this
was
was-
just between competition and we would both realize it and pulled it out.
Well, this was
Every-
back in the 70s.
Yeah, but everybody else, listen, it's just like when you're going double for nothing, whether on any, so let's see, I would say, I may be wrong about this, I'd have to look it up, but I'm gonna say High Flyer, Wall Street, definitely a Nashville, and definitely a Dixieland. No, we can even go back as far as stock market. It's a random, the random double, but them, I think in a ticker tape, would go forward and backward. It was a double motor where you could go clockwise, counterclockwise, and it'd shift.
Yeah, take it away.
The easiest way, rather than taking a unit apart, to cut down on the double wins, duct tape half the disc. Okay, go for double or nothing all you want. And everybody's like, man, Mike, you do anything to tighten that up? I said, now how quick was it behind the machine? How the hell, what am I doing? Half the thing, oh my God. But, look at the guys we had. You had guys like, he was that good. Dixieland George and his father.
Oh, yeah. That's why they
Get
call
off
them
the 6 cards.
I hate him. I
Stop
do.
talking about them!
Listen, the only reason we were having these because we were going to put them in chronological order. Then when we got down to the end of the wall, it was like, listen, no, we're going to start bringing in, like my dad said, listen, let's bring in the ones till the other side's built, ones that nobody sees or has a hard time seeing.
Yeah.
So, QE contest, I can't stand it, but you got to have that in. The shooter line, well, that's the only 28 one, so that's why that's here. So then the Long Beach, okay, 3 card.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's the only Williams
Yeah.
one ever
Yeah.
made.
It's a rare.
You've got to think of that.
That's right. Double header is a pretty rare bird.
Well, that's when we start bringing them in, and then I thought, okay, well, you need a 20 number one.
Yeah.
Well, why don't
I
you bring
don't
the one
like
in
that.
that nobody really ever seen working?
Now on this
There you
CD,
Right.
Mike, on this CD, I think Hugh talks about this game and this animal feature.
Yes.
I think that goes up and down too.
Yes.
He said earlier games you could, and I can't remember if it was a certain hole. Maybe it's these animal holes, I don't remember. Up down, yeah, the up down holes. Earlier versions, if you landed a ball in the hole, you could shake it, and it would activate the switch. You move that thing all the way up or down. Do you know
While
about
we're
that?
sitting here, you hear it going up or down. Okay.
So that's the same thing.
So, what you just brought up, and I'll tell you why that's going. Because I guarantee you, in fact, there it is. I was missing a ball because I threw the balls in Long Beach.
Oh, you got the smaller ball there.
That's a United ball.
Is that one of the 16?
United, I don't know the size, but the United is smaller than the Bally.
Yes.
And that's the one that's going.
So, Bally balls are normally 1 1/8. The regular pinball is 1 1/16. That's your, there it is.
You hear it? You hear it clicking it?
Was it clicking?
Yeah.
I thought that was me shaking something.
No, it did, but that has to be the one.
Yeah. Anyway, so they.
Because the other ones are a lot
That's on
tighter.
that CD
Yeah.
or DVD.
But
excuse me.
every single one, and you know, I tell you, now I just remembered who got this. The guy from Maryland.
The guy from
Eh,
Maryland.
eh, yeah. He was hounding me to fix a Dixieland. And I just didn't feel like they're going,
brought it up
seriously,
again.
I know. The Hagerstown, Maryland, and I said to him, no. And we're picking machines up. And he literally brought it to where I was. In the parking lot. And his name is Sebastian Craig.
Hey, I've heard that name.
Yes, I think he's on my dad's side. I don't think that's his real name. And I said, are you kidding me?
He's one of the guys in my clubhouse.
Right. So I went down, I thought, okay, you're here. I said, how far is your house? He said, well, it's about 2 blocks. I said, come on. And you try to walk him through it. And it was doing a Christmas tree. As soon as I looked at it, I said, well, here's right where I told you to be. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. I said, you're off. It must, a Dixieland must be on 0. That's probably what it is. If I keep,
The animals did not move.
Something moved.
The animals didn't. I was watching it.
Something moved.
It's been on that free from the bottom.
And that
Okay.
light, a side of the eye, just light,
That's what I thought.
whatever that
That's
is.
the giraffe.
Giraffe.
Yeah, that just lit.
Up here?
yeah, we're all the way to the top.
Okay. And this isn't up.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
taking them up.
I was looking at the wrong spot.
So it's taking it all the way up. So now that shouldn't go off anymore while we're here, because
No,
it's
it's
like the
gonna
last
roll
time.
around.
You know what? I didn't even think of that because it's been so long. But he's the one that had the other Safari, and he said to me, Mike, I can't get, no matter what I do with the animal feature. I said, I'm telling you. And you gotta remember, every game prior was mechanical. So when you had an operator like at the old timers that started out, let's say with Broadway, Coney Island, Spotlight, you threw one of that at them. I don't even think, well, after a while, what do you want to call him, technician, whatever, a bingo repair guy, whatever. You didn't go to school for it. You figured everything out on the street. But when you get in there, okay, it shows you the dial. It's now known as a bridge rectifier. Put that in, I said, oh, here, replace that with this bridge rectifier, it'll do the same thing what's in there. And they're all cut out, every single one I've seen.
Yeah.
They're all cut out.
Why?
At that time it didn't move.
And you know what?
Because it's already.
It's all the way at the top.
Yeah, it didn't move. So
Yeah.
it doesn't go around.
Here, I'm gonna switch the balls out and make it go back down.
I don't think that's it now.
I don't think that's it either.
Oh, I see what he's gonna do.
We'll just
We want to go down. Okay. But once I took the board out, while you're there, for the price of the caps, just replace them all. Just replace them all. And only one time that I can remember fixing machines did a resistor ever go bad. And you know what game it was? On Bounty. No, on Bounty. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, well, the only thing left is the resistor. Where the hell's the resistor? I'm looking all over for the damn thing. And it's, as soon as you pull the head down, driver's side, I'll call it, when you're looking at it, driver's side, underneath, under the block of wood for the relays. That's where it was. I read the thing, it wasn't reading, replaced it, game worked fine. But I'll bet you that took me about 4 hours to find that damn thing.
Time. Let's go look at the warehouse.
We go look at the warehouse.
Is that okay?
Sure. Dad, you know,
How
since
y'all hanging in there?
Dad, you're not going to be able to make it up with your needs. I'll take them down. We'll get your part.
Oh, that part too, yeah, that'd be nice. I was thinking.
You're going over to the big place.
No, over Empire.
Okay.
I'll take your keys
Okay, go ahead.
because
Is that walking or we have to drive?
I'll hop in one of the cars. Right?
Yeah.
Look at it. Yeah, no sense walking. Because you'll have to walk down a narrow alley with about 30 steps. We'll just hop right in the car,
Chapter 2
right in
coming
the back.
Okay, we're on.
So there's the magic ring.
Yeah, I recognize that cabinet. I saw the back glass up in
Yeah.
the foyer up there at your dad's house. Carnival Queen.
There's one Jeff probably didn't ever seen. A leader. That's a United leader.
Key West popular.
Yep.
I wasn't crazy about playing that. A leader, is that another roulette table?
Nope.
Okay. Big time. Variety, that's one you don't see too much of. Barrel of Fun 61 and 62. A lot of those were modified. Back glass things. Again, 6 card.
Now there's a big wheel right in front
Big
of you.
wheel. Is this the big wheel cabinet?
No.
This looks more. That doesn't look like a bingo paint scheme I've seen before.
A very hard find that wasn't converted. That's the cabinet to it. But here's the head. That's a line.
Oh. What is that? Another roulette?
That's a roulette. That's Bolero.
Okay, yeah.
So this is line. That is having fun. That was a Broadway 51 converted to double, triple, and quadruple.
Huh.
Here's a United Playtime, a United Showboat. Oh, here's Tahiti. Still in
Get away! Get away!
Roller derby, of course. Right here in front of you.
Oh, you got a shuffle alley in there. Another Carnival Queen. Roller derby. And jukeboxes.
Well, like I said, I ran out of room in my house. My big house, I had them all there.
An antique fan. Bingo parts.
Okay, there's a Sun Valley. I really like those games. That's an attractive game.
Malibu Beach.
And a Bally. Barrel O' Fun. That's actually got a nice looking back glass. There's a Wall Street. Can. Malibu. A lot of fun. A Sea Island.
Here's another Sea Island. Beach time. You were talking about that. Nightclub, Circus Queen. How we have them stacked. Golden Gate.
I have one of those.
There's obviously a Pixies.
Pixies, yeah.
Well, did he show you the
Oh, that's been
United yet?
redone. No, we haven't seen those.
Yeah.
Talked about them.
Yeah.
And a playtime. And a nightclub behind there. I like playing Miss America.
Alright, we built this crane. We take it right out.
Oh, that's easy.
I
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Right.
It's a
Now
lift.
Over here.
Comes out the barn door. Picks it up. How handy. Oh, this
Here's
is
our parts
this is Buddy.
department.
Parts department.
Everything's on.
Okay, pick me out a score extra step coil assembly.
Mike.
Mike's got to find it.
Yeah, there's extra play fields like no.
Yeah. Look at that. Well,
Alright, now over here. Stay to the right because the floor's
stay to the right.
on the left. Stay to the right.
Stay to the right.
Yep. Alright.
Stay to the right.
Alright. We got this.
That's why. Do we have a light in here?
Yeah,
That's on.
yeah. Cypress Garden, Circus Queen, the twist.
The twist. You don't see a lot of those come up. People don't seem to care for them. I don't know if any of you people watching this video are familiar with it. You ought to look it up. It's very unusual. It was not very popular.
We
Yeah.
had this loaded, you know. That, I believe, don't quote me.
What is this? I don't recognize this.
I
Oh, it's a
forgot that-
single coin. Something been repainted. I
Yeah,
don't recognize it.
there's something about that. Mike could tell you the story about this one. But
There we go.
now you have to see the Uniteds.